when I've been coming downstairs to the green room in my beard, a lot of people do a double take and like, oh, Gentleman, I didn't recognize you. So that's good. It's good. I'm trying to be a different character. Down in the green room, people would come down and deliver these notes and candy to all the cast, bought for them by their family and friends who were in the audience. So I remember thinking, this is like Halloween. We're all in costumes, there's tons of candy.
Remember Seidel's wedding, where Tammy and told the people I just heard that David's been arrested, and Gold is gone again.
You have shirt now, Perchik. No more naked Perchik. And then something about the right to bear arms. I told you that Perchik man was crazy, and crazy people go to jail.
And that's what comes from men and women dancing.
Where are we running? To see my boy Marl. There were some fun traditions, like before walking into your house in Anatevka, you kiss your fingers and touch this wood piece along the side of the door. I think something for wishing for blessings in your home. But it just made me thankful for my own home and my own family and for God's blessings on us.
I'll talk to him. I promise.
The second act was definitely more somber.
Good afternoon.
I found myself almost crying every time.
The world is changing, Papa.
No! Some things do not change for us. Some things will never change.
I could see how there were such strong rules that their way of life couldn't be just watered down by not marrying into the faith.
Do you understand me?
Yes, Papa. I understand.
But I think to reject your own child, I wrestle with that.
Mary!
It's just very thought-provoking as to where you put your faith and how you have relationships within the family and what to do when people deviate from the plans that you have for your children. I think the answer is always to love your children, no matter what. Personally, I believe the Jewish nation were chosen by God to be His people and to be special and set apart, and that's why God made all those special rules for them to live by. And unlike the Jews, I believe that Jesus Christ was born as God and man, as the promised Messiah, and that He gave His life for us, the ultimate sacrifice for our sins, and that He took them on Himself, but He didn't stay dead. He didn't stay loaded up with all our sins of the world, but He conquered death and He rose again and now is coming again for us, and that it's through a relationship with Him that we can now be made holy and righteous. We are washed clean. All of what He did was enough for us to be in the presence of God forever. And He fulfilled all those laws, so we don't need to keep following all those older laws and rules in order to make it to heaven. But the Jews believed Jesus was not the Messiah, and they're still waiting, and so they still follow the Old Testament laws. I put my faith in Jesus and what He did for us and what He still does for us even now, and that He's still changing my heart now and working in my life, and I have the hope of paradise forever with Him. Good things are in store, for sure. I really appreciate my husband's parents, who all their lives had dreamed of their sons marrying Chinese girls, and both of them did not. And while it probably was difficult for them at first, I feel their care for me. And yeah, I'm just really thankful to have open-minded in-laws who are willing to let me into their culture too.
Papa, I want to talk with you.
No, Papa! No!
I think the thing that got me through the second act, night after night, was the wonderful people in the cast and watching them do what they do. It was very inspiring, and just having people be genuinely glad to see you every day and to work with you, and it felt like family, and it felt like we were going through something together that was difficult. So there was a comfort in knowing that we had our community of Anatevka people.
You have to leave.
But this corner of the world has always been our home. Why should we leave?
I don't know why. There's trouble in the world. Troublemakers.
It was also really interesting how my in-laws could relate to this story because they had to leave their own country because of the Cultural Revolution. They were being persecuted and unable to choose their own futures, and so they had to escape to America. And their journey was a bit scary. You know, there was armed soldiers with guns, and some family members had to swim from mainland China to Hong Kong or Macau. In most every culture, there's persecution and kicking out the unwanted people, or the rulers not giving the people freedom.
A piece of paper and get the out.
I have over 100 bottles of vodka. What am I going to do with those?
Well, Anatevka hasn't exactly been the garden of Eden. Anatevka, intimate, obstinate, Anatevka, where I know everyone I meet. Soon I'll be a stranger in a strange new place, searching for an old familiar face.
So the very last night of the shows, I especially was really sad to leave Anatevka for real.
So I'm going to the Holy Land to help our people increase and multiply. It's my mission.
Goodbye, Yenta. Be well and go in peace.
Maybe next time we will meet on happier occasions. Meanwhile, we suffer. We suffer. We suffer in silence. Right? Of course.
Even though the second act is really sad and tragic, I can really appreciate the actors who were able to give such emotion and weight to their role, to what was happening to those people. In fact, one night before we went on stage, our director led us in a prayer for the people in Ukraine right now. Seidel was such a sweet Seidel. Just the way she looked when she was at her wedding. I felt like Golda was just so amazing. Like she was the mother of everyone, and I loved her as Golda. Tevye, he is a high school math teacher. And here he is carrying the weight of the whole cast in his milk cart. He did a fantastic job. A lot of these kids' practices went late at night. Sometimes they were laying on the floor and they had no more to give, but they did fantastic in this play. The musicians were great. The technical crew doing all the lighting and cues. Wow. I'm just in awe of what all goes into a production like this. I recently did one of those ancestry DNA tests, and while I'm not surprised that I'm mostly made up of various European countries, I was surprised that a small portion may have been from the Eastern Europe area, including what is now Kiev, or Estonia, or Poland, or Russia on the very edge there. So I feel a connection with the people in that area of the world, especially now from doing this Fiddler on the Roof musical. Closing night, a lot of the guys decided to shave their beards. They had been growing them out since probably May through August, and some of them were sick and tired of the scruff. So after everybody was done tearing down the set and putting things all back to where it was, a lot of the guys shaved together, and there's a lot of shocked responses. It was fun. And then we had what we call Olio, where people did little skits or songs or dances that had to do with Fiddler on the Roof.
First off, I want to state that this was not purely my idea. So the credit for today's performance actually goes to Rachel Holland, Lorna Baxter, Alessandra Spears, and Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Since some Jewish folks love more than married after cars are growing about being poor. Pull up with their hearts, and they gawk at the city boys who want to do more than just talk.
Take Red Teddy and the man's got 5 girls. Uh-oh, but little does he know that his daughter's suicidal. Have an end, have a mind of their own, and wanna find a guy.
For 25 years I've lived with him, fought with him, starved. 25 years my bed is his. If that's not love, what is? I suppose I do.
I suppose I love you.
The show in 5 minutes. So the crew decided to carry the torch. To clarify, we've been backstage, so we kind of know the plot. Something about traditions I don't know. Tradition! Yes! Oh, no! Damn! Matchmaker! I want to marry! You actually don't want to marry? It's kind of bad. If I want to Please, you begin to relax, and I am going to mansplain everything to you until you fall in love with me. Oh no, little bird! So much love with you, right? I'm not Mrs. Nephew. I am the Russian, and I'm gonna corrupt you, and I'm super humble. Okay, hold us in jail. Let's get on with it. Everybody has to leave. We have to leave. Okay, we have to leave. Where's the crew? Go. No one told us to leave. Where's the crew? Where'd they go? Where'd they go? Oh no!
Did you put Jeff's hair on?
To our agreement, to our prosperity, to good health and happiness, and most importantly,
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise.